about making choices, and it's hard either way, whether you know, the choice to stay in a state is hard, and the choice to change your life, be disciplined and get fit, get out of debt, and change your mood and stuff, everything. Reflecting upon September, I need to make sure that I am not going to kick myself that it didn't go exactly as planned. I'm gonna give myself some love in that, and you know, take it for what happened and learn from that. Hello and welcome back to my channel, Hannah Fleming-Hill, talking faith, life and learning for millennial Christians in the 21st century. So this kind of episode 2 of this sort of burnout series-ish thing. I am going to break it up into 2 videos, so it's going to be like a 2A and 2B. So this first video is just me sharing a few sort of thoughts and reflections upon my September, so looking back at what I've done and what I've had going on. I am not going to hate on myself or anything for what I have or have not done or didn't do in my expectation for this reset, refresh and renew time that I had planned. I'm gonna show myself some love and grace that is what's happened, but what can I learn from it? Then in video 2B, I will share some sort of action points that I want to make sure I'm doing over October to get myself to a better state, upon those reflections that I've looked at over September. To be honest, as I said all of this, it doesn't really make sense. Hopefully it will in edit, but you know, life is as life is at the moment, so I'm just going with the flow, doing as I feel creatively called to film right now, and we'll see. Honestly, I'm not really sure where I wanted to go with kind of this episode in my kind of thinking of trying to deal with my burnout over these next 3 months. But we have gone past September. We are now on the, what day am I filming? The 12th of October. So we are nearly like halfway through October already. But I thought I would have a think and reflect upon what happened over September and how it went. Was it what I expected it to be, and sort of what I'm going to try and do over October. If you haven't seen already, I will put up, can't remember what side it comes up on, put up the video for kind of my first acknowledgement that I could run into some more burnout or a bigger burnout if I don't deal with anything. And I haven't had entitled kind of these 3 months reset, refresh and renew, in terms of just trying to get back into a headspace of positivity, loving life, loving who I am, loving everyone else, and just sort of being a lot more happy in the present. My plan was to take off time to just be and exist and, you know, go out for walks more, enjoy life a lot more, and take advantage of the fact that I didn't need to work loads. And that kind of did happen. It went okay to begin with. Actually, it was really lovely. I went on quite a few sort of walks and trips out, and that was lovely. And then it sort of, in not a bad way, but it went off the rails of my expectation. Today, I think, it actually works out as today, was is a kind of a month since I've started uni. So in September I went up to London, and that was awesome, totally incredible, and I'll try and film another video about that. That was incredible. It just threw everything out of my kind of expectation, because suddenly this was now going to take up kind of 2 days of my week, which I knew was going to happen. I guess I just didn't exactly know, but then that was part of my time to take off, was to make sure that I was allocating that time for that. But I'm realising already, and almost better that I realise it earlier than later, that I need to spend time doing my reading and rereading, because I feel quite inadequate to the other members of my student class. They all know so much and I don't, so I need to make sure I'm setting more time aside for that. So like, that's actually kind of the emotional side of just adjusting back into uni has been interesting, and I've loved it, and I'm learning so much, and it's so much fun. It's probably not the right word. It's so interesting, and that's been really good. One of the other things that I wanted to work on during this reset time was on my business and actually what I want to do. I've, in this first few weeks of October, I haven't done a few of the things that I wanted to do, but I have got some work coming through and starting to kind of really push down on that. There are like a lot of things at the moment that are in the pipelines of like funding stuff that might happen towards, like the meetings are happening now, so obviously we won't know for a while. There are a couple of jobs at the moment that are frustratingly all happening this week that I wanted to apply for, I'm wanting to apply for, but I don't know if I do, if I should. You know, one of them I've applied for several times to this organisation, and I'd love to work there, but at the same time maybe God's has told me in the past, you don't need to work there. I don't want you working there, but I still go and apply for it, and there's part of me that's going, maybe that door has shut, but actually is this now a new door and this was the thing that was waiting for? Do I still apply for it? So I'm having a whole kind of like stress about, am I just annoying God if I apply for it? And if I don't get it, that's fine. But at what point do I say enough's enough to not apply for things? But at the same time, then some other stuff has come through and they go, hey, would you like to talk about this? And I'm like, I don't know, because maybe the thing that I would prefer a little bit more might be happening, but it might not. So can I come back to you in a couple months when I know if this thing's happening or not? So it's really frustrating, because obviously then I don't want to sign up to something and then back out if the things that I do want to happen. So like, again, all of that kind of emotional, mental, having to figure out that is in play. But for kind of FH Digital and that stuff, I had a really exciting sort of few things have happened. I've met some really interesting, cool people that I'm hoping I can work with a bit more. And last week I got to speak at Premier Digital, kind of the webinars that they do, and that was really exciting, and that was really nice to do that. So like, there's all these little things with work, and it is really good and exciting, but at the same time I'm like, oh, can everyone just take a pause for a minute? I don't want to have to deal with this right now. I just needed some time off and not stress about work. And I had kind of pushed a lot of stuff to the side over the summer because I was finishing up at TPT, and then I was, we were moving, and I was, that's easy to let people know, sorry, I can't deal with this right now. Whereas now I need to be dealing with stuff, but my head's still not caught up with everything. So I feel kind of, yeah, a little bit wobbly about that. Then on a personal note, my family are dealing with some stuff at the moment. My grand's house has been sold, and that's been really, again, emotional for us, because the whole situation was quite stressful. But also the fact is that actually my sister and I, in a way, are actually, and my mum as well, I think, we're mourning the loss of this house. My grand's still alive, she's just moving. So we're not mourning kind of her, but we're mourning the loss of the house, which was such a big part of our childhood and like our identity with them. Like that was the house, and it was all the things that we did as a family up there, and it's weird thinking that my grand's not going to be there, and that's not her house anymore. And so actually that's been really kind of actually quite upsetting for us. But you know, she's doing well, and you know, thank God that she's okay with all of this, because you know, a while back she wouldn't have wanted to move at all. So yeah, then the kind of further added on stress of that thing is that we just moved all of our long storage stuff at my grand's, like what, 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago it would have been. We've literally just moved all the big stuff that was going to be there for ages, and now we're going to have to move it again. So we've been back and forth and dealing with storage container, but it's just like then going, oh, we need to hire a van and we're gonna have to move it, and that whole kind of physical exhaustion that comes with moving. So that also has been happening. So whilst it's kind of not big stuff, and I am abundantly aware that my life is incredibly blessed at the moment, that these sort of little things that I wasn't entirely expecting, or that are a little bit more, that this time is not what I had anticipated to have, and things are coming up a bit quicker than expected, I can feel the kind of these bubbles of anxiety building up inside me slightly. And I have noticed this last probably 2 weeks or so, I have had a bit more up and down with everything, compared to September actually was a really like good month for me emotionally, whereas I've felt this has been a bit more, the last few weeks have been a bit more up and down, and that's not been entirely pleasant in a way, because actually that's not how I wanted to feel now. I am quite frustrated that I'm not having all this time to, I wanted to just create lots of things, do lots of videos and things, and somehow I don't know what's happened, and we're halfway through it now. So this time for kind of reset, refresh and renewal, I don't feel is entirely happening in the pretty way that I had wanted it to. It's been a bit more of a, painful is probably the wrong word, but you know, it's not been some sort of pretty flower blooming, it's been a kind of, I don't know, pushing through something, but it's okay. I do have to keep telling myself that, you know, we are in this whole state of adjustment at the moment, whilst we're, you know, really getting settled in with, you know, the family living here, and just like our whole life has changed now to how things were, and that's okay and that's good. You know, I'm loving being closer to family, but it's just adjusting, and the fact that it's not perfect. I was watching a video on TikTok this morning about a woman that is 66 days to, she calls it getting hot, but sort of she's having a time of renewal for herself. And one of the things she says is that progress is about slow incremental change, and that really hit me, of actually I'm not going to, like, in the first week in September, life is all just gonna be changing, I'm gonna be this different person. It's not, it's going to be small incremental changes, and probably quite painful changes, because life is not easy when making changes. I saw a post on Instagram about making choices, and you know, no matter where you are, if you're staying in the state you are, that's a choice, and that's going to be hard. If you want to make the changes, that's going to be hard. Whether you know, being poor is hard, being rich is hard, being unhealthy is hard, being healthy is hard. It's all about the choices you make and being disciplined in those choices. And I have to keep telling myself that there is nothing wrong with discipline, there is nothing wrong with wanting to make these changes. I just have to keep telling myself why I'm making them, and knowing that they will make me better in the long run. So thank you so much for joining. If you are new here, it would be wonderful if you could subscribe or give the thumbs up, because that helps me to know if I'm going in the right direction with videos. But thank you so much for joining. Episode 2B will be out shortly. I'll link it above and in the description box. Thank you for watching. I pray you're all doing well, and I will see you all soon. Bye.